Welcome, everyone. Welcome to tonight's show. I hope everyone's doing well. I am your host, Dedrick Hilton. This here is the Oracle Show. We are streaming live on Facebook. We are streaming live in the Oracle group. We are streaming live also on Twitter. And we have an interesting show tonight. I know I've been going for a minute, but we had to take care of some things and basically to kind of go to tonight's show, what I've been up to, working in the community and just getting around talking to people and finding out what's going on in the world. And this here's the Oracle Show where we cover spirituality, we cover self-improvement, everything that betters ourselves. We also talk about day-to-day current events because you can't be a spiritualist and ignore what's happening in the world. That means that you're really not in tune to what's going on in the world. If you're really not in tune to the world, I question how much of a spiritualist that you really are because we are impacted day by day. Our spirituality is impacted by what goes on in the world. So it leads into today's show about the anti-human agenda. How can we become the best version of ourselves when the elite is actually creating agendas to stagnate us from being the best version of ourselves? There's actually a real anti-human agenda that's really taking place, spiritual family. This is not a conspiracy. You are living in it. And what they do is the government and the elite, they gaslight you. They gaslight you and tell you, oh, well, this is just temporary. Oh, this really not happening. Oh, or their favorite line is, it's only happening in America. And that's not true. The rest of the world is not experiencing inflation like how we experience it. The rest of the world is not experiencing um mass eviction where their women and mothers and kids are getting evicted from homes like we are experiencing here on American soil. That that is only going on here. So be careful of the gaslighting. And what happens is our abnormal ways and being, standards of being is so toxic now, spiritual family, that to the point is becoming the norm. Our abnorm is becoming the norm. Hold on real quick. I'm just want to make sure that all my stuff is correct. Just I just have to make sure everything is correct. You know how technology is. All right. I'm back. Okay. Yeah, so our abnormal ways is becoming a norm. And that is always happening in society. And I just want to touch on this because I work as an outreach person, an outreach case manager. I go into tent cities and communities and I talk to people, just not tent cities, but just throughout the city and work with people in need. And what I'm finding is that, like, for example, homelessness has been going on for a long time, but it's been increasing drastically before COVID. But see, they'll gaslight you, say this is the results of COVID, and it's really not, spiritual family. So, for example, you have these massive tent cities that are taking place. How is it that we live in this great country, but yet you have massive people that are becoming homeless and it's increasing on a day-to-day basis? This picture here is right in front of Walmart, Taco Bell, and T-Mobile is off to your right. If you look right there, that's a gentleman right there, and he built this tent that he lives in. And I found him laying in the grass, actually sleeping with a dog right in front of Taco Bell drive-through. That's the drive-through right there, and T-Mobile is on the other side. That's right. So this is going on throughout the cities. It's going on throughout America, and what you're finding is that nothing is being done. You have Kamala Harris, which is over in Africa promoting her BS agenda, which they ran her out the country. But this is going on because of price gouging. The elites are doing this to us, and they making us thinking that, like, oh well, housing is a luxury, but it's not. It's a human right. If you're a tax-paying citizen, you're going to work, and you, especially if you work in two jobs like most Americans are working, you should not be lowering your standard of living. That's crazy to be lowering your standard of living and you're working two jobs. And I spoke with someone and it was like, well, you could go get an RV home. I said, who wants to live in an RV if I'm working 75 hours a week and I have children? Housing is a human right, spiritual family. I don't care what they tell you, it is. And once again, you don't see poverty like this that's supposed to be a top nation in the world. I can see if you talk about a third world country, but you have outrageous amount of rent going up. It's going up all across. It's going up here in South Carolina. It's going up everywhere across the nation. And with it, and I want to break this down to a lot of people because they don't understand that apartment complexes are owned by multi-million dollar corporations like Morgan Properties and all these other properties. They own apartment complexes and they're going up and they hiding behind inflation. They'll tell you, well, we're doing this because of inflation. No, spiritual family, it's really price gouging. It's price gouging at its finest, and you're seeing it happen all across the world and stuff. And they're doing it. They're going up because they can, and they're going up because no one's not stopping them. They're going up because there's no revolution in the streets. There's no one protesting. So that's why they are able to go up on these prices. See, I think my personal opinion, they keep you locked into two jobs or exhausted from one job or frustrated, and that lowers your momentum and your drive to protest and rally and get together. But the pitchforks are coming out. They are coming out. And once again, this is not about really inflation. This is corporations that are going up on prices of things because they can, and no one's not stopping them. And us as humans, we have a fundamental basic need to have roof, shelter over our head. It's Maslow hierarchies of needs. Fundamental basic hierarchy of needs. So, as I was saying, let's see. Oh, wow, we have a comment. Let's see who's in the group. All right, I'm back. Hey there, everyone. We're back. So as I was saying about the hierarchy of need, now I'm going to touch on this one. Now let's get deep into the anti-human agenda because this is happening right before our eyes, and we're not even paying attention. Go in Walmart and go down your aisle, and you'll notice that the aisles have increased. Like they gotten wider lately, right? There's a reason why. I'm getting ready to show you why. You want to know why the aisle gotten wider? Because they're about to start using artificial intelligence robots. I spoke to the manager about it. He told me personally, it's no secret. They're expanding it because they're going to start having these robots stacking shelves. Now, these robots that stacking shelves are going to take away jobs from regular human beings, like you see in this picture here. These androids, these artificial intelligence, they're firing the humans, like at UPS and other places, and tell them you got to go. We're doing it. So these androids could work faster, stack more boxes, pack more boxes at a faster rate, which drives up productivity levels. And in return, this here will cause for your job to go away. So that's why when you go in Food Lion, Walmart, and you see the aisles widen, they're about to have these robots on wheels, these artificial intelligence on wheels, and they're gonna be stacking shelves. That's why you don't see that many people on cash registers anymore. That's right, spiritual family. You don't see people on cash registers like that anymore. Why? Because they're pushing humans out of these jobs. These jobs are being done away with. It's not your imagination. They're not even hiding it. It's the truth. It's the truth. They're talking about it on the news, but once again, we're distracted by sports, Cardi B, hip hop, or wherever else, and we're distracted by it, and we're not paying attention. If you don't have high college education or you're a high skills person, any job that requires redundant behavior, human behavior, you're about to be pushed out the door. Not just that, think about this. During the pandemic, you saw doctors was getting sick themselves and they was dying. Well, guess what? You have another pandemic, doctor can't get sick if a robot or an android is checking you out. He can't get sick. It's a robot. He can see more people, make faster diagnose, probably touch his chest and print out your diagnosis, something. I don't know, but this is not conspiracy theory. This is actually taking place. And you're going to be seeing this happen within this year. It's already happening now. You go to Georgia Southern University, they have robots that on wheels deliver food to the kids' dorm. You go to certain high tech hospitals, you can't get in the elevator because they have robots delivering medication to rooms. It's happening now. This is all part of the anti-human agenda, spiritual family, to break us down, make us into slaves, make us into slave. Like, what do you mean make us into slave? Well, if you have to work two jobs, you have no time for rebellion. You have no time for enjoyment. That's why when you go to bars, you don't see that many people at bars anymore. You don't see society people going on dates anymore. How can you go on a date when you can't afford gas to go get your date or take them to a movie? Movie prices are outrageous. So when you're worried about your standard of living and keeping a roof over your head, you're not worried about procreating, having sex. You're not worried about going to movie theaters, going to a dance and enjoying yourself, with your partner and having a good time and having fun. No, it makes you a slave. It makes you a slave. And if you think it's just us suffering, think about this. Jamie Foxx, they said allegedly is in the hospital from a stroke. This is a multi-millionaire. What is he doing in the hospital from a stroke? The walls is coming in even on our entertainers. It's part of the whole global agenda to break us down. You will work hard and you will own nothing. Everything you own will be leased or rented out, and it will be rented out through skyrocket prices. You will own nothing. You will bow down to the elites. The elites is creating all of this. The elites are creating all of this. Like I said, your jobs are about to be pushed out. You don't believe me? They got these androids now talking about they can hang sheetrock and drywall. Now, me as a counselor and someone that's finished up their PhD, I'm quite not out the woodwork yet either because the thing about artificial intelligence, it keeps yes, yes, sister, it is fire moon. It is scary, and a lot of people are not paying attention because of the fact that we're not living in a real world. That's the thing. Like the post you post earlier about going back and working on our childhood. How you gonna go back and work on something from your childhood when you're an adult? You need to be in the present. That's when you're your best. That's when you're your strongest. That's when you're alert. That's when you're getting your knowledge and wisdom and understanding that. So they have you in these alternate realities and worlds. And let me tell you something. If you look at, if you go ahead and look at Meta, the metaverse that's coming, all this artificial way of living and being in this altered reality and everything, right? Well, yeah, you'll be living in alternate reality because these robots will be living your world. These artificial intelligent android will be living in your world and doing what you're supposed to be doing, operating jobs and functionality that you're supposed to be doing. While you're sitting at home in the metaverse, hiding in a fake illusion. pretending to be something else while the robots is doing your job and living your life. This is coming at a rapid rate, spiritual family. This is not made up stuff. It's coming at a rapid rate. It's not coming 10 years from now. It's being implemented now, right now. That's why you are suffering. That's why you're feeling the headaches when you go to the grocery store and you can't afford food. That's why you feel the headaches when you go to the gas pump and you can't put gas in your car. They want everything electrical. I was watching a show. Pardon me. Ooh. I was watching a show about electrical cars, and they were like, "Well, the pro is when people finance these cars, and if they're unable to, pardon me, if they're unable to pay for them, the car could drive itself back to the bank." Or they say, let's say you have somebody that is, I don't know, they did something the government didn't like, and they're on some list, or I don't know what they did, and they get in a car and they try to start up and say, "Well, I'm leaving town." Well, with an electrical car, they can send a virus to the car or a signal to the car, and the car won't turn on. Now you can't go anywhere. All of this is part of the anti-human agenda. It keeps you locked in. It's the same reason why they want everybody in these expensive apartments breaking your pockets so they can lock you in, because statistics shows people that own homes and land, they tend to be more rebellious, more outspoken because they own their own property. But if you say the wrong thing and you have this social credit, remember, anti-human agenda. What China's doing with the social credit score, and you say the wrong thing, or for example, talking about this, well, I might lose a few points on my social credit score for bringing this topic up to the masses. I might actually lose a few points. And what that does is say, okay, well, if I lose any more points, I can't buy a car. If I lose any more points, my kids can't go to a certain school, or I might not be able to shop in a certain grocery store. How will all this benefit in society? What it does is it breaks down the human morale compass. It isolates us from being human and humanity in itself. The key thing is, don't fall for the gaslight. Oh, this is just, it'll blow over in a moment. How are we supposed to be the top country in the nation, but every 5 years we have inflation or there's a recession taking place? Every 5 years. There was a research that was done that showed in America, the country is designed, the economy is designed for everyone not to be employed. And it's also designed for to have low wage workers too, because they say if everyone's employed, then the jobs wouldn't have the value that they have. So they have to create systems where everyone can't get a job, where some people have to be unemployed. That's why they don't like socialism and communism, because those societies say everybody will be employed and they'll control the distribution of funds. See, that goes against the anti-human agenda. Now, for those patriotic Americans, they're talking, man, bump socialism, this and that. Well, you have to think about this. Why is that all these top nations in the world are starting to link up together and work with each other, and America is getting cast further aside, where no one don't want to work with America? You got people in Africa, they just lit Kamala Harris up. They told her, like, the audacity you to come over here and talk about human rights when you have massive citizens that are homeless, you have mass shootings that take place on a daily basis. They're like, your country is has collapsed. You need to go back home. They're like, matter of fact, we'll come over there and work with you guys to create a legislation where you could help your citizens out. Don't worry about what's going on over here. They're like, China came over here, we're working with them. We're getting weapons, we exchanging goods and services. Same thing with China. They're like, we're working with them too. And they're like, the audacity for America to come over here just to push their BS social agenda on them that they're not going for. So moving right along, look at this here. We are woke to your pandemic. We do not consent to vaccine. So all this here, that's another thing that they're doing to strip us of our humanity, strip us of our, that's part of the anti-human agenda. Come up with another virus. There's already talks of other viruses that are coming out that's supposed to be way worse than COVID. And what that does is pushes you further into your house, locks you in where you can't be a productive citizen anymore. That's the whole goal, to break you down where you're no longer a productive citizen. That's the whole mission. And then you go home because you're gaslighted when they tell you you're not working hard enough. You're not educated enough. And you're sitting behind closed door like, well, maybe I'm not smart. Maybe I made a bad decision. No, you didn't make a bad decision. It's just that the elites is creating an agenda to wipe you out, to take your jobs away and let these robots and stuff take over your job. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. Think about this. I want to show y'all this one right here. Higher gas prices are increasing insurance premiums. So car insurance premium in the United States have increased by 5% to 15%. America's largest auto insurers are filing for rate increases. Now, this was in 2022. State Farm increase went up by 4.2%, Allstate by 12%. And why I'm showing you this is because they're telling you, oh, because higher gas prices, well, we have to go up on the insurance now too. For example, I have 3 automobiles. I have full coverage on all 3 of my vehicles. Never haven't had a wreck, no speeding tickets. I was paying $170 in South Carolina with Geico a month. Out of nowhere, they increased my car insurance to 400 and something dollars. And they told me, well, if you pay, have it automatically withdraw from your account, we'll lower it to $270. And I was telling somebody else about that, and they're like, well, that's still good. I said, no, it's not, because I said they'll come back next year and go up even higher. And that takes me out of my comfort zone where I have no cushion financially for the auto insurance. And that's why I'm saying this is here come the trickery, the gaslighting. Like, am I doing something wrong? No, it's not. It's all part of you will own nothing. You have everything, but you'll own nothing. You don't own your car. Why? Because you got to pay taxes on it. And if you don't pay taxes on it, what happens? You can't drive it. You don't own your car. You don't have auto insurance. You can't drive it, right? So you're at the gas pump. You want to go out on a Friday night, or you just want to take a road trip with your kids and family. You know, remember back in the day, we used to take road trips to go sightseeing. Remember that? We used to have, remember we used to have road trips just to go sightseeing? Americans don't do that anymore. Sightseeing and road trip was to educate your kids, have quality time with your family and your loved ones. Now, you can't even go down the street too much. A year ago, less than a year ago, the average American had about a half a tank of gas in their car. They said now the norm is for people to ride around with a quarter of a tank. They put just enough in to get them to work or to get them to the grocery store and somewhere else. Once again, they're pushing you further back into your home. You can't leave. You can't go anywhere. You notice I see movie theaters are shutting down now. 2 movie theaters, prominent movie theaters shut down in my community. No, you will stream movies from the comfort of your home. You will not sit in movie theaters. I remember like 4 years ago, people like, "Oh, I'm going to the movie on Friday night. Is this coming out? This coming out." Or for the holidays, like Thanksgiving. I mean, like when Home Alone first came out, for Thanksgiving and Christmas, people like it was packed with family with their best sweaters on and their winter coats and everything, and they're watching Home Alone. Now you don't even see people socializing. All of this is part of the breakdown. Even with social media, even with social media, spiritual family, to get people to feel antisocial, for people on social media to think that every human being is a bad person, everybody's toxic. Oh, they're toxic. They don't like my beliefs. They don't like who I'm sleeping with. Everybody's toxic. That's just, that's just male, too much male energy or too much feminine energy. All this stuff. And they don't realize that they're the ones that's being brainwashed by the elites. They want you to talk feminine energy. They want you to talk masculine energy. They want you to think that human beings are toxic, human beings are evil. Why? Because then you will never unite. You will never unite to bring down the masses. You will never unite for revolution. You will never unite for change. Hell, even in the paranormal community, everybody's all over the place. They want to do this one man, then they want to do that one man, and I don't like him, and he's from here. I'm like, man, I ain't got time for that shit. I just left that. We got bigger things to talk about. Now look at here. Detroit, this is capitalism. This is your grocery store on capitalism. Long Island, where I went to college at. Yes, people are actually living like that in Long Island and Westchester and Rockland County, where I'm from. With capitalism, somebody has to lose. Malcolm X talked about that. Somebody has to lose with capitalism. That's not a win-win system anymore. Who the hell think this system is winning? You got to be a fool. Or you're delusional. That's another thing. Patriotism, very delusional. What are you patriotic about? That massive people in your country is homeless? Women getting evicted with babies? They're getting evicted because the rent is going up and their income not going up. Well, they should go just no, shut the hell up with all that, because that's why all the other countries are teaming up with each other and they're circling America and actually laughing at America. They're having a bonfire and laughing at America. So they're like, yo, your president looked like a stroke victim. Kamala looked like she smoked an ounce of weed and can't stop laughing. No one's taking us serious. People are going to the United States Army at Fort Jackson and having sex changes. How you gonna go to war with China and Russia and our soldiers concerned about sex changes? I don't know. So look at here. Bill Gates, look at all this land he owns. What you see in green, he owns all of that. He owns hundreds of thousands of acres in these states. I noticed he didn't come to South Carolina because there ain't shit here. Florida, North Carolina, Louisiana, California. I mean, he got all the Midwest out there. Why? And he now Bill Gates was be a computer junkie, a tech guy, right? Tech, right? But yet he's buying all this land. Did y'all see that they're actually putting like some DNA into the meat and vegetables? They're toying around some DNA stuff. I put it in my Natural Vibe Holistic group. By the way, real quick, spiritual family, real quick. I just want to. We're gonna take a quick commercial break. All right, I'm back. So, as I was saying before, we have a lot going on. I don't want for anybody to start thinking like, hey, it's me. It's not you. The pressure you feeling, the walls closing in on you, the fear that you have paycheck to paycheck is not you. And right now, because we talk a lot about spirituality here, I need my spiritualists to come into the present. Come into the present. Don't go into hermit mode. This is not the time for hermit mode because your eyes, your third eye needs to be open and get ready to see what's coming. You need to start preparing for what's coming. This is not the time for you to run off, hide behind crystals, hide behind some tarot card. It is not the time for that. Spiritual strong people are in the present, they are in the now, and they are able to deal with reality. And that's what makes them strong. There's a revolution taking place, and I smell it coming this summer, spiritual family. I believe this here will be the summer of revolution. This will be the summer of revolution. I think the whole housing industry is going to hit its mark where people are going to be tired. I think that these androids coming in that's taking our jobs and stuff. People, the pitchforks are coming. People are going to get tired of the elite trickery, they mind games, them not even talking about real issues on the news. And that's another thing. Because if they don't talk about it, you think it's not going on. It's really going on because the news themselves are owned by the elite. They're the ones that are determining what is going on out here. They're the ones that's determining what information you get. So then when somebody like myself come on and present it to you, like, is that really happening? Yes, it is really happening. These are shots that are from the news. This is a real photo that was taken here in Columbia, South Carolina. We have to start using social media again to socialize. That's what it's for. We need to start communicating. Just don't give people thumbs and hearts. Say something. Say something about what you're seeing because it's happening outside your door. You can't hide from it. See, the thing about hermit mode, you're still in the real world. You're still breathing air. You're still flushing the toilet. You still have to eat. You can't run from reality. You can't run from reality. Yes, the droids is coming. This artificial intelligence will be taking for those y'all that have these stay-at-home jobs. Oh my God. Y'all jobs are on the chopping block. Your job is on the chopping block. Why? Because it's redundant behavior that an artificial intelligence could do itself. I know people that work at Maximus and trainers are already getting laid off. They're already getting laid off. I tell people, don't get too comfortable with your paycheck. Don't get too comfortable with your paycheck. Just let me tell you something. You better have some flexibility. If you have a college degree, you better get ready to learn how to do some retail jobs. I remember when the other recession came in, I saw all those AKAs and Deltas down there at job service, and I just came home. I was like kind of just out of the military at the time, and I see these Deltas fighting for jobs at McDonald's. That's how bad the recession got. And they say this recession going to be triple the time worse. You're going to have two forms of income out here, and enough. And most people have two forms of income just to be broke. It's not your mind. You see jobs being slow about hiring. And another thing that a lot of jobs are doing in the job market now, too, spiritual family, they'll hire you, interview you, and then come back and rescind on the job offer. They'll tell you some bogus stuff. Oh, the grant just went out, or somebody voted it out. Or yo, you're scheduled for an interview on Wednesday, and then you'll get an email 2 days before saying, "Oh, we decided to move on with somebody else in the process." This is, you know why? They didn't. None of that is true. It's the recession that's taking place, and they went back and they boss said, "Hey, look, freeze that. Don't even interview people. We can't hire them. If you want to keep your job, don't interview nobody right now." And spirit fact, that's the same reason why I do what I do on social media. That's why I create my own businesses. I create my own streams of doing stuff because you can't rely on this economy. And somebody asked me, and even though I'm almost done with my doctorate degree, I'm getting my certification. That's why I didn't walk yet. I'll be done in May officially. Now, my thoughts about college, real quick, in this crazy economy. I'm going to tell you what my thoughts are as a father of three children. And my ex-wife, she has two master degrees. She's a special needs teacher, and we're on the same accord. My thoughts is, if you're going to go to college, you better go be a lawyer, doctor, accountant, something like that. Stay away from education, being a teacher. Stay away from being counselors. Anything that needs you to go get these certifications and licenses and stuff, and they don't give it to you right up front before you leave college. Don't touch that. Don't go to school for that. Don't go to school for no history major. You can read books on your own at home. You can watch YouTube and learn about history. If you're gonna go broke or get the big loans, go for the big job. Now, if you're gonna be a lawyer, you have to go to school for like 8, 9 years or whatever. Gonna be a psychiatrist, about 10 years. Don't go for no petty bullshit. We need to be sending our kids to school for tech jobs. I'm sending my son to school if he chose, well, he says he's going to college, following dad's footsteps. But he's going for engineering. Why? Somebody gonna have to maintain these androids. Somebody got to maintain android. Remember, I said though, these artificial intelligence are gonna adjust and they're gonna evolve. That's what if you ever watched the Matrix animation, go back and watch that. How the robots end up taking over the human because they became smarter. Now, look here, this android is a doctor. He's going to be sympathetic, empathetic to human needs. He's going to develop those characteristic traits, or it's going to be uploaded into him as a program. Well, somebody's going to have to upload that in him. You might well make the money doing it, but jobs like this, you're already going to see Amazon, Walmart. You don't even hear about people working at distribution centers. I remember when I first moved down south, people was working at distribution centers for like 15 years. Had nice cars outside, everything. Man, distribution centers look like ghost towns now. They're like ghost town. You hardly see a distribution center. All this is changing. All this is changing. It's not in your mind. Don't believe people when they tell you, well, you gotta put gas in your car. So who cares about a gas price? No, no, no. We don't talk that shit. That's like saying, well, I like sex, so I don't care if somebody raped me because I like to have sex. See, that's that gaslighting ish. And usually people that talk like that don't know much about the economy or the issue at hand, so they'll say some bogus stuff like that. So you always gotta be on point to like, cross block, boom, boom, cross block. But some of it we're gonna go over later on how to survive these times mentally and spiritually for the next show. That's what we're gonna talk about, how to survive these times. But I had to bring the issue to the light. I had to bring the issue to the light because there's many components that are involved with this topic because it's going to impact you mentally and spiritually. You better believe that. If you think you having breakdown now because you don't like what somebody said on Facebook or Twitter, where do you see when this whole agenda continues to roll further because it already started? We're already in it. It's not getting ready to start. It already started. I'm just bringing it to the front light, showing you how and what's going on. The next step is how do we combat it? Yes, there're going to have to be some revolution tactics that's going to have to take place, but a lot of it is also going to start with yourself, your mind, your spirit, your health, your health, because that's part of the human agenda too. Feed you bad food, alcohol, drugs, everything keep you high, disoriented, diabetes and stuff. And then you can't rebel. You can't be out there marching, protesting, even throwing a mocha bomb or something, and be doing all this stuff if you have high diabetes and blood pressure and all that stuff. No, so you have to take care of your body. You have to get fit. You have to get right. And that's for another show. But I'm your host, Dedrick Hilton. This here's the Oracle Show, Spiritual Family. Thank you, thank you, thank you guys for tuning in. We have more show. I'm back now. I'm running my own system. Um, he's a good time. But before we go, let's see what the next comment has to say. Tasha Snow, I agree. Something really big is coming. We need to be ready. Yes, that's right. Sasha, it's actually already happened. Fire Moon, thank you for tuning in. That's like my big sister right there. Salute to Fire Moon. That's my big sister, yo. And I said we're back. And once again, it's the Oracle Show. We talk about self-improvement, spirituality. We talk about things with Curdy events. We cover it all right here. Why? Because on the Oracle Show, our mission is to help those to become the best version of themselves. Go out there, join the Oracle group, which is on Facebook, the Oracle Show group. Go join that and join House of 12 Tribes, our Rasta Hebrew group, where we talk about current events and cultural stuff. That's where you want to be at, especially into like a lot of cultural aspects, but also how current events are affecting our culture. You need to be there. It's kind of like Black Media News a little bit over in House of 12 Tribes. But House of 12 Tribes is a real group that I started here in South Carolina, and we're out in the community. And really helping people. And that just goes back to this photo right here. I actually went up to this person and had them fill out an application form with Jameson Consultant to get them services and a case manager to help get them housing, food stamps, and other things to get them back on their feet. So House of 12 Tribes is just not on Facebook. I'm out here in the community. I'm representing because I want to say this before I go. I want to talk to you guys real quick, just for 2 minutes. Let me just talk to y'all real quick. So y'all see me with other brands and doing different things. So where I'm at today with myself, and I was talking to talk to a lot of people, my ex-wife, my girlfriend, my mom, different people, and I'm like, yo, they're like, hey man, look, you're a highly educated brother, very educated. Have your PhD. You've been working in the community as an activist, as a family counselor, blah blah blah, for decades. There's so much going on in the world right now. The community needs you. They need you not just on a spiritual level, but they also need you on a level where you're bringing truth to them. And that's why my content is more serious now. Well, I was always serious, but I'm going in on other topics. And for those that know me, personally know me, they'll tell you, no, Dedrick always been like that. He just didn't talk about it in depth on social media at times. But I always been like this. But some of you know me as the Red Baron. That's all I got to say on that. Some of you know me as the Red Baron in the podcast industry. But so these topics I'm talking about is not nothing new. I just brought it all together and put it together now, and put it together and made it reality. Because I have a position to play in this world. I can't be out here talking some all the time, and my community is suffering. America is suffering. People are suffering. You know how many young mothers I see with babies, like I said, and they lost their rent, not because they on drugs or anything, because the rent went up. And their paycheck didn't go. They're like, yo, I was living good 3 years ago. Everything was all right. I was going to work, working 40 hours a week. And I can't get a new apartment because they want me to have 3 times of the rent. Now, who has 3 times of the rent? Once again, anti-human agenda. We didn't need Biden to create Build Back Better or whatever he did. No, we just need to get back to the basics, brother. That's what we needed, President Biden. We need to get back to the basics in this country. And I'm telling my community, particularly, yo, Democrat, Republican Party, both garbage. Both garbage. Democrat Party don't give a damn about you. You might make way with the Republican Party because they don't like to be in poverty. Things was better under Trump. Fact. Fact. But I'm telling the younger generation, stop being so emotional. We need you to start fighting. We need you to be more vocal. All this masculine energy. Man, grow up, put your big girl drawers on. Start talking about the topics that are relevant. We need you to fight the fight. It's revolution time. We need you. And I talk to my daughters that's 14, 10. They got bigger kahunas than some of these 20-something-year-old females on social media. You hear my 10-year-old talk, she'll shut down a lot of these women on social media. A lot of y'all talk about shit. Same thing with the guys. Y'all talk about nothing. Nothing. Well, there's other political parties out there to explore. There's other ideologies to explore because capitalism, somebody got to be the slave with capitalism. Ah, yeah, and our people in America know a lot about that slavery thing. Somebody has to be the slave. Right now, well, for a while, capitalism has been working, and I agree with Angela Davis, Sister Davis. You know, I think we should go socialist capitalism, socialist communism. Um, I'm not gonna lie to you. I used to be a conservative, and I still am a conservative when it comes down to family, because I also saw that's part of the anti-human agenda too. Break down family. How can we break down family? That's part of the anti-human agenda too. Breaking down family, creating gender wars. All this stuff that you see going on is by design. Why you think it's in magazines? Why you think it's in movies, TV shows? It's by design. If everyone's fighting with everybody, no one can turn around and rebel against the government and the elite. Because why? You're over here creating new age rhetoric. Everybody got a part to play in this anti-human agenda. And they sit there hitting buttons. Go out there, we got some sensitive people, say something about some masculine, feminine energy. They'll get mad. They won't follow this person, won't like that person. Go out there and just say, hey, I don't, like football, and then I don't like rap, or I don't like this, and they keep hit the button, and they'll put a post up, they'll put an article up, they'll leak somebody sitting behind stuff and putting things up, and then you sit there and say, "Yeah, I don't want to talk to this person because he don't share the same views. I don't want to talk to her because she don't share the same." And now both of us are becoming victims of the elite, the powers, the be, and we don't see it, or we do see it, and then you feel like you're alone because you don't isolate yourself socially from everybody. Please, please, especially if you follow me, hit like, hit share with this video. Please hit like, hit share, leave a comment, share your thoughts. I'm trying to get everybody back to. I'm trying to get everyone back to communicating and post a comment, articulate yourself. Don't be a social media zombie where I see things, but I'm not hitting like a heart. No, man, shit is real out here. Use social media to your advantage to get your voice out. Once again, join the Oracle Show group on Facebook and also join House of 12 Tribes. We are a live community organization. We are a monastery of belief systems, and we out here, talk about current events and also focus on our spiritual self. And just, hey guys, just go check the damn group out. I ain't about to sit there and promote shit. On that note, spiritual family, thank y'all for tuning in. We are back, the Oracle Show, and my name is Dedrick Hilton, aka Priest Divine, the Abbot. I will be seeing you guys soon.